Welcome to my very first video of a project that I'm going to attempt this morning. And I'm going to be refinishing these horribly scuffed end tables, which I've actually done once before and I did a horrible job of. Don't judge me. Anyway, here I am out on my beautiful property. None of the neighbors can see me being a crazy person because there are no neighbors for miles. So I get to be as goofy as I want, and nobody can call the cops on me. All right, so in order to do this project this morning, obviously you need a nice open space to work with, which I have. You don't need beautiful scenery, but it does make it more interesting. And you need your project pieces, which I have 2 end tables. That would be our bedroom side tables. And I've got a couple of simple tools. I have a grungy bucket that I've used for 100 different projects. And I just continue to use, and I will use that for my TSP solution. I've got some concentrate TSP. I have a flat white can of paint that I just dug out of a bin in our tack room, which is serving as a garage for us for now. And I tend to just find stuff that we already have on hand. I'm kind of a reuse, recycle type person. I prefer not to go out and buy new things if I can find something on hand to do the job, get the job done. And then lastly, I have some clear coat. And then when I'm done with all of this, I have a piece of plastic overlay to protect the tops of these, which had I put on in the first place, I wouldn't have to redo this project. So anyway, I'm gonna get started. Alrighty, so I've gone ahead and mixed my TSP solution, and this is a 1-step solution, a no rinse. So all you have to do is wipe it on and let it dry. Now, if my husband were here, he would be anxious that I was even doing this project. He likes things to be perfect before we do projects, but I just like to do projects, so things don't have to be perfect for me. Anyway, I love him. He's amazing, so I'm not keeping on him, but just making a comment. Anyway, what I was going to say is if he were here, he would insist that I sand it to perfection and all of that, and I don't know, sometimes I just want to get the job done, so I don't like to do a crummy job, but I also like to get the job done. And if doing it to perfection means that I'm not going to have time to do it or the tools, then I'd rather just skip a step or 2. So I'm not a wood craftsman, so you know, I don't have to sand it to perfection. So basically I'm wiping this down, and it has a the solution is supposed to sort of have the effect of a very fine sand, so it kind of removes all the dirt and creates a little bit of a porous surface so that the paint will adhere. So I'm going to do this to both of my pieces, and then I'll move to the next step. Okay, so this is the part where I shake the paint for about 3 minutes, so stand by. So a couple things to note when you do a project outside. First of all, kind of take note of the wind, especially if you're painting. You want to try to spray the paint in the direction that the wind's going so that it's not blowing back at you. And then also, if it's really breezy out, you might get dust and whatnot from the trees and the sidewalks and whatever that land on your wet paint, and then you end up with this yucky coat of dust. Anyway, after you shake your can for a ridiculous length of time, you just go ahead and I'm going to do multiple coats because this is a pretty sheer paint, and I want to get good coverage. So yeah, so you just go ahead and give them a couple of nice coats. So since I have to wait for a short period of time for my first coat to dry, I thought I'd stop and have a cup of tea. If you're doing a project like this and you have a small breaking point, don't run in the house and wash dishes or throw a little laundry in. Sit down, give yourself a pat on the back, and just enjoy that little pocket of time before you have to finish up your job. I am enjoying a cup of chamomile tea with a big scoop of honey. Compliments my friend Wendy Upton back in Petaluma. And I wanted to mention that I have a special challenge with this project because we have a hill in the back of our house, and this time of year in Idaho, the sun kind of lingers on the horizon, and it rises and sets right on our hill here. It rises late and sets early, so as soon as it sets here, it gets a little chilly and it gets a little dark. So I need to get this job done. So I'm going to take a couple of sips of tea and get back to work. So now, I pretty much used the whole can of paint. I probably killed these things with 6 coats of paint. I figured I wasn't going to use the small bit that was left in the can, so I just polished it off. And now I'm getting ready to do my clear coat. And I shook this for the recommended 2 minutes, which turned out to be exactly 220 shakes. And so I think I did the job. So I'm just going to go ahead and, if I can get the, okay, blooper, I can't get the lid off. Maybe this isn't meant to be. Wait, maybe there's a trick to it. Open, to open, insert a 1/4 inch wide flat head. Seriously, obviously this is meant to be child-proof and in some cases adult-proof. My gosh. So I got the screwdriver. Now I gotta get the tip out of this thing. I got it. Okay. Clear coat. I don't know if I'll leave that in. We'll see. This is just gonna protect it a little bit from, I don't know, stain. Like if we use spilled coffee or something, it'll probably wipe off more neatly, cleanly. And I'm actually primarily concerned with putting it on the top, although I am going to cover the top with a plastic, a little plastic piece that I got on Amazon. And that will really protect that from like coffee rings and all that stuff. So, well, my project's done and I'm super happy. I wasn't going for perfection. If you are going for perfection, you will be disappointed every time. They're not perfect, but they make me happy. So probably let these guys dry a little bit longer out in the sun and then bring them in the house and let them finish drying overnight before I put my little protective sheet on top. The project probably took about an hour and a half, much of which was edited out, so I wouldn't bore those watching too much. Hopefully I entertained you, but most importantly, hopefully I inspired you to get out and do those little projects that maybe seem daunting. But they don't have to be. It's okay to cut a little corner here and there, put some good music on, get outside and get some fresh air, and when you're done, you get to enjoy the fruits of your labor. Thanks so much for watching. Have a great day.